Okay? So first you have your D. Our topic is combination functions. So we have here the first type of E combination functions. First, the multiline definition of functions. It says that putting pieces together. Okay? Sometimes a physical or economic situation behaves differently depending on circumstances. And a more complicated function may be needed to describe the situation. So one of the common example of multiline definition of functions is the sales tax. Okay? Some states have different rates of sales tax depending on the type of item purchased. So tulad po sa atin, ganun din po, no? Okay. So pag nakikita mo, meron tayong 12% value added tax sa mga beverages, no? Tsaka sa mga cigarettes, okay? So a luxury item may be taxed at 12%, food may have no tax, and all other items may have a 6% tax. We could describe this situation by using a multiline function. Okay? A function whose defining rule consists of several pieces. Which piece of the rule we need to use will depend on what we buy. So in this example, we could define the tax denote as T on an item which cost denote as X to be. Okay, so this is your sales tax. Okay? So dito, we have your T, that is your, the tax, X, yung cost ng item po natin. So yung cost ng item natin is 0 if X is the cost of the food, no? So walang tax yung foods na bibili natin. 12%, 0.12x if X is the cost of a luxury item. Okay? If X, 0.06x if X is the cost of any other item. Okay? So, meron tayong specific item at kung magkano yung tax po niya. Okay? So, example here, find the sales tax of the following items. Okay? For the bread at 200 pesos, halimbawa bumili ka, tapos bracelet at 5,000 pesos, and books at 2,500. So first, what we're going to do, we're going to compute the total sales tax of the item that we purchased. So in our first column, we have your D items, the bread, the bracelet, and the books. Okay? For the second column, we have the price of each item. For bread, we have 200. For bracelet, we have 5,000. For books, we have 2,500. So, yung tax po niya, for foods, 0 tax po siya. For bracelet, we have a 12% tax. And for books, we have a 6% tax. So, if we're going to compute for every individual sales tax, for bread is equal to 0 siya dahil walang tax po yung bread natin. For bracelet, we have 12% multiplied by 5,000, we have 600 pesos. For books, we have 2,500 multiplied by 6, we have the 150 pesos. So if you're going to compute for the total sales tax, i-add po natin lahat yan, we have a total of 750 pesos. So this is one of the example of a multiline functions wherein lahat pinagsama-sama with individual percentage ng tax nila. So one of the example is the sales tax po. Okay, next. The composition of functions, okay? Or the functions of functions. Basic functions are often combined with each other to describe more complicated situations. Here, we will consider the composition of functions, the functions of functions. Okay? So we have here the definition. The composite of two functions, f and g, written by f of g is f of g of x is equal to f g multiplied by the function of x. Okay? So a composition of function is generally a function that is written inside another function. So composition of a function is done by substituting one function into another function. Okay? For example, f g x is the composite function of fx and g of x. The composite function f g x is read as f of g of x. The function g of x is called an inner function, and the function f of x is called an outer function. Hence, we can also read f of g of x as the function g is the inner function of the outer function f. Okay? So how to solve composite functions? Solving a composite function means finding the composition of two functions. We use a small circle for the composition of functions. Here are the steps on how to solve a composition of function. So pag meron kang nakitang ganito, yung small circle dyan, that is now the composition of two functions. Iba yung tuldok. Pag tuldok siya, multiplication. Pero pag small circle siya, that is the composition symbol for the composition of two functions. Okay? So we have the first is rewrite the composition in the different form. For example, the composition of functions of f of g of x is equal to f of g of x. Okay? So we have your example. For the function of x is equal to x squared of x minus 2, and the function of g, which is in terms of x, is equal to x squared, and h of x equal to 3x if x is less than 2. X minus 1 if 2, if x is greater or equal to 2, no? Ito yung symbol natin. If x is greater than 2 or equal to 2. So evaluate f of g of 3, okay, yung value ng x natin is 3, the g of f of 6, f of h of 2, and h of g of negative 3. Okay? So, solution, no? Okay? Kung may tanong, pwede mong i-ano dito sa chat box, no? F of g of 3, okay? So, unahin muna natin yung f, g of 3. So, gagamitin natin yung function ng g of x, ito, which is x squared. Ito yan, no? G is a function of x, okay? So, ito yung condition natin, yung g of x natin should be x squared. So, by this time, this your x is equivalent to 3. So, 3 squared is equivalent to 9. Ito na yun. So, value nito, from this condition, which is equivalent to 9. Next, isusunod natin yung function ng f. Okay? Function of f in terms of x equal to the square root of x minus 2. So, by this time, yung value ng x natin, yan yung value ng g of 3 natin. So, f of 9 is equal to the square root of 9 minus 2. Okay? Or that is equivalent to square root of 7. By using your calculator, you're going to have 2.646. Okay? Okay, decimal form siya, no? Wala mang problema doon if you can have this one as your final answer. Okay? Okay. Next, second, no? Next, we have g of f of 6. The value of x natin ngayon is equal to 6, no? So, nauna yung f ngayon, no? Nahuli yung g ngayon. So, gagamitin natin yung function ng x sa f. Square root of x minus 2. Okay? So, yung x natin, 6 minus 2 is equivalent to 4. Okay? Tapos, sunod dito, yung g of x, which is equivalent to x squared. Okay? So, square root of 4 is equal to 2. Tapos, i-square natin siya. Ito, no? Okay? 2 squared is equivalent to 4. Okay, next. For the third one, f of h is equal to 2, no? So, natin yung function ng h is equivalent to 2. So, doon sa condition natin, meron tayong dalawang condition dito. H of x equal to 3x if x is less than 2. If x is greater than or equal to 2, gagamitin natin yung x minus 1. Since the given year is equivalent to 2, so gagamitin natin ito. X is greater than or equal to 2. So we have x minus 1. So meron tayong 2 minus 1 ngayon. Ito yun, no? Dito natin kinuha. Dahil yung x natin is equal to 2. Okay? 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. Sunod, gamitin natin yung function ng f. Okay? The square root of 1 minus 2. Or that is equivalent to square root of negative 1, which is undefined. Okay? And for the last one, h of g of negative 3. Okay? So yung negative 3 ngayon is h of g, which is negative 3. Okay, ano yung g natin? So yung function natin, g negative 3, so x squared siya. Negative 3 squared. So negative 3 squared, we are going to have 9. So since by this time your x is greater than 2, we're going to use this condition x minus 1. So 9 minus 1 is equivalent to 8. Okay? Any questions po? Any questions po? Okay. Next. Okay. So if you have your piece of paper there, ano natin ito, no? Paki-solve po natin for 5 minutes, okay? If the function of x, f of x equal to x all over x minus 3, g of x equal to the square root of 1 plus x, and h of x equal to 2x and 5 minus x. If x is less than or equal to 1, if x is greater 1. So, hanapin po natin dito, f of g of 3, f of g of 8, g of f of 4, f of h 1, f of h 3, f of h 2, and h of g is negative 1. Okay. So, this is now your solution, no? Okay. So, letter A, f of g of 3, no? Okay. So, yung g of 3 natin, ito yung gagamitin natin, 1 plus square root of x. Okay? So, 1 plus 3, square root niya is equal to 4, is equal to 2. Okay? Tapos, isunod natin yung function ng f, x minus 3. So, we have 2 divided by 2 minus 3. So, 2 minus 3 is negative 1. 2 divided by negative 1, we have negative 2. Okay? Next, you have your letter B, no? F of g which is equivalent to 8. So, pareho lang yung procedure natin, no? So, the square root of 1 plus 8 is equal to square root of 9. Is equal to 3. Tapos, yan natin yung function ng f, x divided by x minus 3. So, we have 3 divided by 3 minus 3 with 0. So, 3 divided by 0 is 0 siya. Okay? Next, for the next example, baliktad po naman siya ngayon. G of f is equivalent to 4. So, yung ano natin, x divided x minus 3. So, we have 4 divided by 4 minus 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. So, 4 divided by 1 is 4. And, okay, yung square root naman dito, ito yung function ng g natin. So, we have square root of 1 plus 4 is equivalent to square root of 5. Okay? Next, letter D. F h is equivalent to 1. Okay? In our h, okay, so there is a condition, okay, may condition tayo, if x is less than or equal to 1. Gagamitin natin yung 2x. If x is greater than 1, we're going to use the 5 minus x. Okay? So we have your, okay, so 2 times 1. Okay? Ito na siya, no? 2x, no? So, 2 times 1 is 2 lang po ito, no? Okay? It should be equivalent to 2 times 1, we have 2, no? Okay? So, 2 times 1, we have 2, and 2 divided by 2 minus 3, okay? Negative 1. So, 2 divided by negative 1 is negative 2. Okay? Next, we have the function of f of h of 3. So, h of 3, okay? So, since x greater than 1, gagamitin natin yung 5 minus x. Okay? So, 5 minus x, we have 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. And then yung function ng f ngayon, 2 divided by 2 minus 3, the same as negative 2. Okay? Next, f of h is equivalent to 2. Pareho pa rin, no? 5 minus x. So, 5 minus 3, 2 is equal to 3. And 3 divided by 3 minus 3 is equal to 0. Okay? For the last one, h of g is equal to negative 1. Okay? So, gagamitin natin yung function dito. Negative 1, the square root of negative 1 plus 1 plus negative 1 is equal to 0. Okay, so since r is less than 1, so 2 times 0 is equivalent to 0. Isang example, okay. So halimbawa, gawin natin itong ano, o yan, gawin natin 6 yan. Sadali. Okay. So gawin natin 6 yan. Ano magiging sagot natin? Bag natin kanina, bag muna natin. Okay. This one is equivalent to 6. Okay. So ano magiging sagot natin? Okay. Pwede nyo i-try yan. Okay. Okay, may sagot ka na? Ano yung sagot natin? $2.64. Okay? Check natin, no? So, ito yung kanina, no? Pag ang function natin is 3, di ba? Okay. So, ngayon, doon sa equation natin, 1 plus square root of x. Okay? So, 1 plus square root of x. Okay? So, ito magiging 6 siya, di ba? So, we have square root of 7. Okay? Square root of 7, that is 2.64. Tama, di ba? So, that is 2.64. Okay? So, next, gamitin natin ito, x over x minus 3. So, we have 2.64 64 divided by 2.64 minus 3. Okay? So you can use your calcu. Ano yung magiging sagot po natin dito? Okay? Paki-calcu. Meron siya. 2.64 divided by negative 3, minus 3. That is 0.36. Okay? So, 2.6 divided by negative 0.36. Okay? Negative 2 yung sagot. Okay? Are you sure? So, we have 2.64 minus 3. So, that is negative 0.36. Okay? So, next, we have 2.64 divided by 0.36. Negative 7.222. Okay? Nakakuha mo? Okay? Okay. So, next, we're going to continue. So, meron din ano dito, no? Another steps, no? How do you find the composition of two functions? So, here are the steps you can use to find the composition of two functions. Pareho lang kanina, no? First, you write the composition in different form. For example, the composition f of g of x needs to be rewritten as fgx. Okay? So, pareho lang siya kanina. Replace its occurrence of x found the outside function with the inside function. For example, in the composition f of g of x, if f gx, we need to replace its x found in the f of x, the outside function, with g of x, the inside function. Okay. Next, then we're going to simplify the answer. Okay. So example, no? Now let us use the step shown above to work through some example. If the function of x equal to negative 4x plus 9 and g sub x equal to 2x minus 7, find f of g of x. Okay? So first, you are going to write the composition in different form. Ito yung kanina, f of g of x, ngayon, f g x. Okay? So, parang baliktad po siya kanina, no? Okay? So, gagawin po natin, replace its occurrence of x in the function of x. Sumuna muna yung function of x with g sub x equal to 2x minus 7. Okay? So, ito yung function of x natin is negative 4x plus 9. So, negative 4, ano yung x natin sa g sub x? 2x minus 7. Ibig sabihin, yung 4x, yung value ng x natin dito is yung value ng g natin. 2x minus 7. Okay? Plus 9. Next, we are going to distribute, multiply. Negative 4 by 2x, we have negative 8x. Negative 4 by negative 7, we have positive 28. So, dapat ito plus 9 to, hindi siya plus 7. It's a typographical error. Okay? So, combine like terms, negative 8x, 28 plus 9, 9 ito kasi 9 yung nandun. That is equivalent to 37. So, your answer, f of g of x equal to negative 8x plus 37. Okay? Any questions? Example number 1. Okay. Next, example number 2. Okay. Baliktad po siya ngayon. If f of x equal to negative 4x plus 9 and g of x equal to 2x minus 7, find g of f of x. Kanina, f of g of x. Okay? So, by this time, we have g of f of x is equal to g f x. Okay? So, ngayon, yung g ngayon, no? Yung g natin is 2x minus 7. So, kukunin natin yung g, 2 Tapos yung variable natin na x, yung function ng x, which is negative 4x plus 9. Negative 4x plus 9, then minus 7. Ito yan. Then we're going to distribute 2 times negative 4x is negative 8x. 2 times 9, we have 18. Then minus 7. Okay? So collecting like terms, negative 8x plus 18 minus 7 is 11. So your answer, g sub f of x, is negative 8x plus 11. Okay? Any questions po? Wala na? Wala ang tanong? So next, you have your example number 3. Okay? If h of x, okay? Total na dyan na. Okay? If s of x equal to 3x minus 5 and g sub x equal to 2x squared minus 7x, find g sub x of x. Okay? The same procedure, i-write po natin. Okay? Next. Okay? So, yung g natin, ito na yun, no? 2. Okay? Yung x squared, kunin natin yung function ng h natin. Yung h natin, 3x minus 5. Ito yan. 3x minus 5, tapos yung squared is squared. Minus 7, okay, x, 3x minus 5. Okay? So, next, we are going to expand this one using your square of e binomial. If you encountered that one in your algebra, okay, square of e binomial, a, quantity a minus b squared. If we're going to expand that one, we have a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. So this one represents your a, this one represents your b. Okay? So a squared, 3x squared is 9x squared. Minus 2, 2 is constant, times a, 3. Okay? Times b, 5. So minus 2 times 3x is 6x times 5, we have 30x. Plus b. Ang b natin is 5, and then is squared kaya naging 25. Okay? Next, minus 7 3x minus 5. Sunod, distribute natin ito. Okay? 2 times 9x squared, 18x squared. 2 times 30, negative 60x. 2 times 25 is 50. Minus 7 by 3, negative 21x. Minus 7 minus 5, we have plus 35. Okay? So, collecting like terms, yung 60, negative 21, we have negative 81x. 50 plus 35, we have 85. So, your answer is 18x squared minus 81x plus 85. Okay? Any questions po? Example number 3, letter A. Okay lang? Okay. Next, find h of g of x. Okay? Ito na yung next na hinahanapan natin. H of g of x. So, ano yung h natin? 3x minus 5. Okay? So, 3. Multiply by, ano yung x natin? Okay? 2x squared minus 7x. Okay? So, mangyari doon, by using your calcu, okay? Or if you're going to multiply that one, 3 times 2x squared, so we have 6x squared. Okay? Tapos, 3 multiplied by negative 7x, we have negative 21x. And then, minus 5. So, the answer of f of g, h of g of x, is equivalent to 6x squared minus 21x minus 5. Okay? Any questions po sa letter B po natin? Wala na? Wala ang tanong? Yung 3, ito yung 3 natin, no? Okay. Next. Last combination of functions, we have your D, iteration of functions. Okay? There are applications which feed the output from a function machine back into the same machine as the new input. Each time through the machine is called an iteration of the function. Okay? So we have your example number 4. Suppose the function of x equal to 5 all over x plus x all over 2, and we start with the input x is equal to 4. And repeatedly, feed the output from F back into F, okay, from your figure 9. So this is your figure 9, okay? So ito yung input natin, yung 4, no? Ito siya. If the input is equal to 4, okay? And this is our function machine. So yung function machine po natin, ang ginagawa niya is isosolve niya yung input natin using this condition. 5 all over x plus x all over 2. So, pag pinasis po niya yan, mangyari doon, since this our input is equal to 4, mangyari doon, 5 divided by 4, okay, plus 4 equal divided by 2, ang lalabas will be 2.625. Okay? So, ano yung gagawin po natin sa iteration of functions? Doon sa iteration of functions, gagawin po natin, we are going to look how many iteration. Ilang cycle po siya. Para yung input natin ay pareho doon sa output natin. Okay? So, tulad dito, our input is 4. This is 2.625. So, hindi po siya pareho. Okay? Hindi siya pareho yung input sa output. So, ang gagawin natin, pa-process natin ulit siya sa function machine. So, mangyari doon, 5 divided by 2.625 plus 2.625 divided by 2. Okay? Pa-process po niya. Ito po rin yung output niya. So, hindi pa rin siya pareho doon sa 2.625. So, ang gagawin natin, pa-process natin ulit siya. Okay? Using this formula, okay, 2.23. So, hindi pa rin pareho. Dapat sa iteration functions natin, dapat yung input is equal to output. So, ilang cycle po yung gagamitin natin. Okay, so have your A table. So, first iteration po natin, ang input natin is 4. Ang output natin is 2.625. Okay? So, ipaprocess natin yan sa function machine natin. 2.625. Okay? Ito na yung input natin, plus, yan. Ito yung magiging output natin kanina. 2.6488 and so on. Okay? So, your input is not yet equal to output. Pa-process natin uli. Yan yung input natin. Okay? Yup. Nandito siya. Ito yung magiging output. So, hindi pa rin sila pareho. Pa-process natin uli siya dito. Okay? 2.23, ibig sabihin may discrepancies pa rin siya. Hindi pa rin pareho. So we're going to make fifth iteration. 2.23, okay? Ito yung magiging output niya, hindi pa rin siya pareho. Until we're going to have last 6 iteration. Pang 6 iteration, 2.23, okay? And so on. Pinasis natin siya function machine. Nalalabas na code will be 2.236067977. So pag titignan mo, your input is the same as output. Okay? After that, your function machine is no longer required to function dahil your input is now the same as output after making 6 iteration. So ang ano po natin doon kung pang ilang iteration, no? Ang gagawin po natin para yung input natin after i-process ng function machine natin is the same as output. So by that time, nag-equal sila, your input is equal to 1 output, which means you have 100% efficiency of your output machine. Okay? So last example, practice 6. What happens if we start with the input value x is equal to 1 and iterate the function of x is equal to 9 all over x plus x all over 2 several times? Do you recognize the resulting number? Okay? So, first iteration, 9 divided by 1 plus 1 equals divided by 2. Ang output natin is 3.4. Okay, so hindi siya pareho. Second iteration, input 3.4, output 3.02. Hindi pa rin. Third iteration, 3.02 input, output 3.0092. Okay? Hindi pa rin pareho. Fourth, 3.0092. Okay? 3.00. Okay? That's the output. Fifth, 3.00. Output, 3.00. I-check natin, no? Kung tama siya. So, 9 divided by 3 is 3. Plus 3 is equal to 6. 6 divided by 2, we have 3. So after fifth iteration, your input is equal to output. Okay? Yan po yung ibig sabihin ng iteration functions. You're going to iterate how many times as long as the input will be the same as your output. Okay? Any questions po?